Motion to reconvene into public session. Next, I would ask you to consider a motion to amend the agenda to add to the agenda consideration and approval of a purchase and sale agreement for property located at 11718 and 11736 Brown Bridge Road. This is just to put it on the agenda. Yep. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair. So next will be the motion to actually consider and approve the purchase and sale agreement. As the board is familiar, one of the county's ongoing projects is the construction of a senior enrichment center. Property has been located at 11718 and 11736 Brown Bridge Road. That property has been determined to be sufficient for the construction and operation of the Senior Enrichment Center. There has been an offer made and received from the property owner to acquire that property for $275,000, and what I'm seeking is approval of the contract and authorization to execute the contract and the accompanying closing documents. Let's get the motion.
So moved.
Motion to approve. Have a second? I'll second it. Okay. Do we have a vote?
Oh, you'll ask for discussion first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do we have any discussion on that? Go ahead. I'm sorry. Don't pay me no attention.
I was trying to be in order. The property is not the issue, it's the price. As we have stated here with this board that we do not go over property value, appraisal value, as we did with the Monk property. That was what the statement was on why we did not move forward with that property, was because it was over appraisal. The price wasn't even near 50%, but this property is 50% over the appraisal cost. So I am not going to be for it because of, with that price being 50% of the appraisal cost. It also makes this board look as though we are not following what we stated previously, that we do not go over appraisal costs.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It was also stated that we are not going to purchase property from any elected officials. This board has basically stated in the past that they did not want to purchase any property from any elected official. Doesn't matter whether they've not been on this board for 5 years, 20 years, 30 years, 100 years. We're not purchasing property from an elected official. The Monk property is from a previous commissioner. We chose not to do that in the past, so we're not going to do that now. That is the biggest issue with the Monk property. So I want to put that on record. Not all about price. It's about doing business with the previous commissioner. Thank you.
I have a discussion. Well, let's go back to the record. I only can speak on what's on record and public records. On public records, there was no mention of the reason why the board did not vote for that property based on the person being a 30-year-old elected official. On record, it states that we will not go over appraisal cost. So that is the recorded record. That's only what I can stand by. We will not go over appraisal costs, and that's actually, you can pull the open records, you can pull the information. There is no policy written here in the state of Georgia that you cannot purchase property from somebody who is a former elected official, especially 3 decades, who has not even been in this capacity but been a resident and a taxpayer of Newton County. There is no law that's binding in the state of Georgia. If there is, I stand corrected. Please provide that to me. There's also no law or policy here in Newton County.
Thank you. Have we researched that property to see has anybody over the past 100 years, 50 years, 30 years served on this as the elected official in some capacity? If that being the case, but what I do know is that 50% is just really too much to pay over for that particular piece of property. I think if it would have been anybody else's property or something, or just a regular John Blow property or something, we probably wouldn't have paid that much for it. And is there do we have some kind of standard or something? This is you, Patrick. It's saying that or something on record that's saying that we shouldn't pay over 50% or whatever the case. What's on record?
There's no official policy adopted by this board about the amount of money you pay for property. It is always in your best interest to get an appraisal before you proceed with negotiations, which we did in this case. But there is no official policy adopted by this board that limits the amount of money you would pay for a piece of property.
Oh, okay, and last final question. What about if you're an elected official?
There's likewise no policy that prohibits that. In fact, there's in state law would allow that to happen under certain circumstances. So even if it was a current elected official, but there, to my knowledge, and I'm pretty comfortable that I'm right, that there is no law that would prohibit purchasing property from someone who formerly served as an elected official.
Thank you.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Nobody want to buy the property? Okay. All right, motion failed. What's the next one?
Motion to adjourn.
What, okay.
Yeah, that's all there's left.
I thought about, we were gonna talk about the, did we talk about that already?
No, we don't, there's no other action needed. We don't
Okay.
need any other action.
All right. I have a motion to adjourn. Second? Motion second. All in favor?